Okay, there is exactly one place for coffee and food, and that is McDonald's, so I am running there. I was pretty beat last night. Fortunately, that questionable Mexican food doesn't seem to have done anything to me. I still have to repackage all of my food this morning, and I'm currently debating whether I want to wait till 9 o'clock, run back to the store, and see if they have a fuel canister. Hell of a stop for a last town. I had a coffee truck and a restaurant recommended in this town, and both of them are closed. And speaking of low standards and things being closed that shouldn't be, so it looks like neither the McDonald's nor the Dollar Tree is open. Nobody knows what's going on. There's just nobody around. Well, nobody seems to know what's going on, so it is gas station donuts and gas station coffee for breakfast. This place is just kind of odd. They kind of painted, but it's not all the same color. Okay, after a breakfast of gas station coffee and donuts, it's time to get going. I'm going to backtrack across town because they do have a fuel canister. There's a chance mine might get through, but another 4 days is pushing it. Usually lasts, around a week, and I had this one out of Silver City. Figure I'd rather be safe, and then it is get the hell out of town and try and forget Lordsburg even exists. This isn't super heavy, but the combination of my cold weather gear plus, the not quite as compact food is just kind of ridiculous. I actually debated tossing some things, but that's wasteful, and I've got more adventures up ahead. This has pretty much been my least favorite town in New Mexico, and yet I keep backtracking back and forth across it. Backup small fuel can acquired, and off to Mexico at long last. Nobody has any idea what's going on with McDonald's. Funny thing though, if you order through the app, you can't actually get refunded or cancel the order through the app. You have to do it through the local store. So I now have to work a complaint through the McDonald's National Customer Service. I had such dreams of town food coming in here. And in the end, about all I can say is, well, at least that slightly questionable fast food Mexican chain next to the hotel doesn't appear to have made me sick. My resupply isn't great, but I at least have beans and rice for dinner. 87 miles to go. Relatively flat. No idea on the terrain. Water looks good, at least for the next day or two. Lots of water sources, and there's a guy who basically keeps the water caches stocked. And I even think I have the pickup arranged, so now all I got to do is survive 3 or 4 days without getting hurt. So that KOA had a comment on Far Out. Some lady and her husband went there, and the owner encouraged her to spend like 20 minutes taking a shower, and then blew up when it was her husband's turn. Sounds like somebody probably has a camera in my shower stall. So I have just about a mile here to get out of town back to dirt. And looking ahead, if there are other roadwalks, they are of the Jeep ATV trail variety. Doesn't look like I have to walk any more of these major highways, minor highways. Incidentally, that is the place some people said they stayed rather than in town. So home stretch, and if I fail at this point, it's basically going to be swiping defeat from the jaws of victory. So today is Friday, and if everything goes reasonably to plan, by next Friday I should be meeting Jen back in Riverside. 3 to 4 days of walking, however long it takes me to get to Colorado Springs, and then a day and a half to drive my Jeep from there all the way back out west. And then I sit around for all of a week or so before it's time to cross the border down at Tijuana and start diving down in Mexico. Jen already has the gear all prepped and ready to go. I was commenting to Jen last night. I basically thru-hiked in every month of the year to get through my triple. Thanks to the ECT being so long. The only gap I had was end of October till end of December. if I stayed out here for another week or two, that would officially be the entire year. And for the record, I am still perfectly fired up to hike more, just not on this trail. I am ready to not have the CDT hanging over me anymore. So there's the grand town of Lordsburg. I came out of one of those canyons back there and then walked across the plain off to the left and then down in on the road. This whole finish up the CDT thing has dragged on so long, it feels unreal that it's almost over. I mean, the Mississippi felt like a huge, big, long adventure, and I've been out here, you know, longer than I was on the Mississippi by quite a bit. And it's basically been hanging over me since I finished the ECT. You know, when I finished Nova Scotia, I was fully mentally onto the CDT. Put in all that effort, all the warm-up, pushed so hard only to derail due to COVID and Noro. And so the entire time in between there and finishing the Mississippi and coming back out here, it just feels like it's been hanging over me. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed my time out here. I joked back when I was in my peak bagging days that I was very much into goal-oriented recreation. I enjoy doing stuff. I like to have a goal. I like to have things to accomplish. And I tend to beat myself up quite a bit when I fail to meet said goals. So this is marked as a water cache box. Looks like it's an old bear box, actually. Looks like I'm gonna be able to be picky about my water sources for the remainder here. And yeehaw, just like Oregon. I did hear from a trail angel that there's probably some people behind me somewhere. Nobody's leaving comments. I did see the few people that are on that. Trail these days. My God. It's the CDT hordes, huh? So I'm carrying about 2 liters, which honestly is almost overkill out here with the amount of troughs and everything. I could probably carry less, but that's generally I like having enough buffer just in case I need to stop. Plus, you never know when you're going to twist an ankle or something and can't make it to the next water source, right? Rat's nest. That just seems kind of like a shame. I'm going to choose to interpret me dragging today as a side effect of having donuts and gas station coffee for breakfast instead of real food. That was such a bummer. I was really craving that McDonald's breakfast food, which should tell you how desperate I was for any food that, you know, wasn't out of a package. So I do have the signs, but trail's kind of coming and going. I've done a fair amount of zigzagging back and forth. So this is going to be fun once it gets dark. I would totally filter out of this if I were stopping anytime soon. But I'm hoping to get another 6 miles or so, and if I don't have water, I have no choice but to do more. 5 o'clock, and I might regret this, but I'm gonna push on. There's a water source in 5.7 miles. Currently have a liter on my back, so I think I'll just push to that, which will take a couple hours after dark, because it's slower going, trying to figure out where the actual route is in this maze of Jeep track and cow trail. And now the real fun part begins. I need to make it another 3.7 or so. At that point, I'm gonna kind of play it by ear. If I did another 7, I could make it to a water cache, but I'm gonna get annoyed wandering around the field here. Okay, this water looks pretty good. It's the stuff that's left out in the sun that tends to get less than great. Like, that's drinkable, but that would kill my filter pretty hard. Okay, 7 o'clock, I've got plenty of water. I'm just going on until I find someplace I feel good camping in. I'm in somebody's cow field. Okay, 7:30, tired of wandering around in the dark. Came 22.8 miles, which is reasonable. Hopefully I can get a little more tomorrow. I'm ready to finish. Home sweet home.